gonna fix my lipstick here. Okay, just a little fixing here. I really can't stop using this one. I guess, I don't even really want to admit this, but I ordered 3 of them because they became just like my favorite. I don't know, I've never loved, okay, that's not true. I had a specific fidelity to Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk for a really long time, but that doesn't stay on very long. Okay, maybe put on too much on the bottom. But hello. Oh, I just want it to be like lit from below a little bit. I just like think that's the best way to do sort of this like lighting situation is just maybe a light from below a little bit. And okay, so I wanted to talk through some of the things. So yesterday I was doing some research, but the document has become a bit more substantiated. So maybe I just wanted to talk through some of that, but also I feel excited about some ideas that were brought up today, and phrases that were used. So I'm just going to read some of them. Adjacency is not access. Collaboration is not a choice, it's a fact. Contamination as intimacy. Using words that have negative valences for poetic purposes. And what other stuff I'm gonna do today is just sort of like catch up on a couple of different emails and dates, and I wanna watch some of George Kuchar's work, and thankfully I have some secret access to watch that. And I did want to start a new animation, but I'm not sure I totally have. I don't know why I'm so scared to start a new one. I guess I just haven't for a while. So maybe I'm intimidated or something. Well, you know, when you just haven't done something for a while, and I don't know. I'm not really saying anything important, but I'm just gonna fix this here. Sorry about that. Is that better? I don't know if that's better. Okay, so I'm just gonna read some things. So I looked up what Baroque clouds look like. I can show you. Baroque clouds. Oh, yesterday I learned that there's something called ePal, where I think you possibly you pay someone to play games with you. I'm a little bit interested in exploring that. And I have, maybe I can read my book list that I'm interested in. Young Girls in Echoland, Theory of the Gimmick, Ugly Feelings, Our Aesthetic Categories, The Intellectual Situation, Critical Play, Radical Game Design, Against Interpretation, Archaeologies of the Future, and Girlhood and the Plastic Image. Those are some big ones. And sorry about that. And what else? So let's come back to some of the things I was thinking about yesterday. Formalist video refers to a style of video art that focuses primarily on the formal elements of the medium itself, such as composition, structure, color, rhythm, and texture, rather than narrative content or representational imagery, emphasizing visual and sensory aspects of video. So maybe I'm slightly coming to understand that I'm both a formalist and a conceptualist, and or formalist and post-conceptualist. I read a little bit about Fred Moten on affect and ontology. His work often explores the intersections of affect, ontology, and blackness in his writing, particularly through... Okay, so I'm going to order also, I forgot to write it down, I think, the Undercommons. He navigates how affective experiences, emotions, desires, and intensities that circulate between bodies disrupt traditional ontological categories and how we understand being. Affect becomes a way of theorizing relationality that acknowledges interdependence, fluidity, and a kind of ongoingness that evades fixed categories. I got a little bit more into Lacanian psychoanalysis. For Lacan, desire is central to human experience and is tied to a sense of lack. So in a Lacanian framework, something like affective care labor can be understood as an arena where desire, lack, and the unattainable object of desire are in constant play. So Lacan posits that all desire is fundamentally about filling an existential lack. So that sort of led me into a deeper rabbit hole of lack theory and affect theory, ontology, Heidegger, and essentialism. So traditional essentialism sees entities as having a core nature, but Heidegger emphasizes that existence is fluid and temporal. Deleuze and Guattari and looking for the lack is a concept. I touched on the lack, but they think that the concept of lack is fundamentally lacking. Unlike Lacan, they position desire as arising from a sense of lack or absence. That's what Lacan posits, but they propose a different view that where lack is productive, creative, and positive. So they argue that desire is not structured by a lack, but creates an endless process of desiring production. So maybe in the context of something like erotic labor, Deleuze and Guattari's rejection of Lacan's lack is as a basis of desire shifts understanding that kind of work from a transaction aimed at client trying to fill a void or worker trying to fill a void, but instead is more about desire as something productive and affirmative. I think that would substantiate calling it care work in a sense. Agency is always compromised. I might have touched on this in the other video, but I was interested in this idea of reading out loud is as productive in terms of hearing the reader's frailty of voice, fragility, and the physicality of the voice, the vulnerability of the voice. That's something I'm going to be thinking about for a while. The force of the latent in a text refers to the power and potential of underlying meanings, themes, or structures. Working consistently with ends is a capitalist ideal. Ends equal capitalist product. Means equal working against the linearity of capitalism. It is working multi-temporally, or working with multi-temporality. There are no ends, there's no defeat. And I was really interested in this comparison to looking up at the sky. There's no sky in here, but might as well be. And I might have said this again yesterday, but the focus of culture is on the producer and not the consumer. And some preliminary conceptual starting points for this book I want to read on girlhood. The fundamental qualities of the digital image are mutability, scalability, and shareability, which is associated with the idea and concept of girl. Okay, I will stop